You know what's wild? Most people who can't seem to move past their pain aren't stuck because they're broken or weak. They're stuck because they're accidentally doing the exact thing that keeps them trapped. It's like trying to heal a wound while constantly picking at the scab, except you don't even realize you're doing it. And here's the really frustrating part. The things you think are protecting you, the ways you've learned to cope, the strategies that once kept you safe, they're now the very walls keeping you locked inside your own pain. You're not failing at healing, you're just blocking yourself without knowing it. And today, we're going to unblock it. Let's talk about what actually happens when something truly painful occurs in your life. Maybe it was a loss that shattered you. Maybe it was betrayal that changed how you see people. Maybe it was something someone did to you that you didn't deserve. Whatever it was, in that moment you felt things so intense that your mind had to make a choice, feel everything right now, or shut it down to survive. And most of the time, your mind chose survival. It pushed those feelings down, locked them away, told you not now, we'll deal with this later. And honestly, that was probably the right call in that moment. Sometimes you need to just get through the day. Sometimes you need to function. Sometimes feeling everything all at once would genuinely overwhelm you. But here's where the problem starts. Later never comes. Days turn into weeks, weeks turn into months, and suddenly you've been carrying this locked box of pain around for years. You think you've moved on because you're not crying every day anymore. You think you're fine because you can talk about it without breaking down. But deep inside, those feelings are still there, untouched, unprocessed, quietly running your life from behind the scenes. And keeping everything locked up, it's expensive. Not in money, but in what it costs your body, your mind, your relationships, your whole life. Research shows that when you constantly push feelings down, you're not making them disappear. You're just relocating them. And they show up in the weirdest places. Suddenly you're exhausted all the time for no clear reason. You're getting headaches that doctors can't explain. Your body hurts in ways that don't make sense. You're not sleeping well, or maybe you're sleeping too much because being awake feels too heavy. You catch yourself getting irritated at small things that shouldn't matter. Your relationships feel harder than they used to. You're present but not really there, you know? And emotionally, you might notice this strange numbness, like you're watching your own life through glass. Good things happen and you feel nothing. Or you feel something but it's muted, distant, like someone turned down the volume on your ability to experience joy. Some people describe it as feeling fake, like they're performing happiness rather than actually feeling it. The truth is, when you block pain, you don't just block pain, you block everything. It's like turning down the dial on your entire emotional range. You can't selectively numb. You think you're just avoiding the hurt, but you're also dimming the light. And that's the hidden cost nobody warns you about. So how exactly are we blocking ourselves? Let's get specific, because this is where most people finally start recognizing their own patterns. First, there's the minimizer. This is the voice that says, "It wasn't that bad," or "Other people have it worse," or "I should be over this by now." Every time you tell yourself your pain doesn't count, you're essentially telling that hurt part of you to stay quiet. You're invalidating your own experience. And here's what you need to hear. You don't need to justify your pain. You don't need permission to hurt. If it hurt you, it matters. Period. Full stop. No comparison needed. Then there's the eternal researcher. Maybe this is you. You watch every self-help video. You read all the articles. You know all the theories about healing and trauma and recovery. You could probably teach a class on it at this point, but you never actually do the work. You stay in the learning phase forever because learning feels safer than feeling. Information becomes another hiding place, another way to avoid the vulnerability of actually facing what's inside you. Or maybe you're the dabbler. You try something for a week, maybe 2. Meditation, journaling, therapy, support groups, whatever. And the moment it starts getting uncomfortable, the moment it starts actually touching the real pain, you quit. You tell yourself it wasn't working, or it wasn't the right fit, or you'll try something else. But really, you're running from the discomfort that signals you're getting close to something real. And then there are the more obvious blocks, the ones we can probably see easier. Staying busy, working too much, scrolling endlessly, binge watching shows until you fall asleep so you don't have to be alone with your thoughts, gaming for hours, drinking more than you used to, using substances to take the edge off, shopping, eating, whatever your particular escape looks like. None of these things are bad by themselves, but when they become your go-to strategy to avoid feeling, they turn into emotional hiding places. You're not relaxing or enjoying yourself, you're running. And the exhausting part is that you have to keep running, because the moment you stop, the feelings are right there waiting for you. Some people withdraw entirely. They pull back from friends who care about them. They stop doing things they used to love. They isolate, not because they want to be alone, but because being around people means risking connection. And connection means risking being seen. and being seen means someone might notice you're hurting, so it feels safer to just disappear a little. And here's one of the sneakier blocks: shame. Deep, heavy shame that whispers, "You deserve this pain," or "You're damaged now," or "You're too broken to fix." When shame moves in, it paralyzes everything. It tells you that you're not worthy of healing, that you're fundamentally flawed, that this is just who you are now. And as long as you believe that story, you'll never give yourself permission to get better. But underneath all of these blocks, there's usually one core fear that drives everything: the fear of feeling it again. The fear that if you open that box, if you let yourself actually feel what happened, it will destroy you. You've spent so much energy keeping it contained that the idea of letting it out feels terrifying. What if you start crying and can't stop? What if the anger takes over? What if you fall apart and can't put yourself back together, so you keep it locked up tight? You convince yourself that not feeling is the same as being healed. But it's not, it's just being frozen. And frozen isn't the same as free. Here's what actually happens though. Those feelings you're so afraid of, they're already affecting you. They're already running in the background, influencing your choices, your relationships, your sense of safety in the world. The only difference is, right now, they're doing it without your awareness or control. When you finally face them, when you finally let yourself feel them, you actually get power over them for the first time. Yes, it might be intense. Yes, it might be uncomfortable. But intense and uncomfortable are not the same as unbearable. You're stronger than you think. You've already survived the worst moment, the moment when it actually happened. Feeling it now, in safety with awareness, is just processing what your system couldn't handle back then. You're not reliving it, you're releasing it. So how do you actually unblock? How do you start letting this stuff move through you instead of staying stuck? First, you need awareness. Just notice your patterns without judgment. Notice when you're minimizing. Notice when you're reaching for distractions. Notice when you're about to run from discomfort. Just notice. You don't have to change anything yet, just see it clearly, because you can't shift a pattern you don't recognize. When you're ready, start small with feeling. You don't have to dive into the deepest pain on day one. Start with what's closest to the surface. Maybe it's writing in a journal for 10 minutes. Just write whatever comes up, stream of consciousness, no editing, no one else will ever see it. Let the words pour out. Research shows that just the act of writing about difficult experiences helps your brain process them differently. It takes the chaos and starts organizing it into something your mind can actually work with. Or maybe it's talking to one safe person. Not someone who will try to fix you or tell you to get over it, but someone who will just listen. Someone who can hold space for your pain without making it about them. Speaking your truth out loud, hearing yourself say the words, it does something powerful. It makes it real in a different way. It breaks the isolation. And practice letting emotions exist without immediately pushing them away. When sadness comes, let it be there for a moment. When anger rises, acknowledge it. You don't have to act on every feeling, but you can let yourself feel it. Name it. This is grief. This is rage. This is fear. Just naming what you feel starts to take its power away. Be kind to yourself through this. Seriously, the voice in your head that's been telling you to toughen up, to be over it already, to stop being so sensitive, that voice isn't helping. Talk to yourself the way you'd talk to someone you love who's going through something hard. With patience, with compassion, with understanding that healing isn't linear. Some days you'll feel stronger. Some days old pain will resurface and you'll wonder if you've made any progress at all. That's normal. That's not failure. Healing isn't a straight line up. It's more like waves, and sometimes you'll get hit by one you didn't see coming. But each time you face it, each time you let yourself feel it and survive it, you prove to yourself that you can handle this. And that belief, that knowing you can handle it, that's what eventually sets you free. Replace the numbing habits with things that actually support you. Move your body in ways that feel good. Spend time outside. Create something, anything, just for the sake of creating. Find small ways to release what's inside that don't involve shutting down or running away. These aren't distractions, they're tools. There's a difference. Here's the bottom line. Time alone doesn't heal wounds. Time just passes. Healing requires actually doing something with that time. It requires facing what you've been avoiding, feeling what you've been suppressing, and slowly, carefully, processing what happened to you. You're not broken, you're blocked. And blocks can be removed. Not overnight, not without effort, not without discomfort, but they can be removed. And on the other side of that block is a version of you that's lighter, freer, more present, more alive. A version of you that can actually feel joy again because you're no longer spending all your energy keeping pain at bay. You deserve that freedom, and you're capable of getting there. The question is, are you ready to stop blocking yourself and finally let the healing begin? If this resonated with you, if you're ready to stop standing in your own way, drop the words, "I'm ready to heal" in the comments. Let me know you're here and you're choosing yourself today. And if you found value in this, stick around. Subscribe if you haven't. There's more coming to help you on this path. This is just the beginning.